Hi!
Elvira here,
Marian.
And Edwin.
and now we're gonna walk you through our creative session. So, organization, planning, and execution. Very exciting. So, chillax, sit back, and enjoy the video. Whoop whoop!
Yay!
Our challenge was to address the problem of students feeling lonely in the university while still being surrounded by many people. We found this challenge very relatable, and that's why we were excited to work on it. When we started thinking about the places for socializing in the university, we immediately thought about the cafeteria. This is the place where students come for to socialize, which is really nice, but on the other hand, for those who haven't really made friends yet, it might be a bit awkward or even frightening to eat alone. So that's why we made the cafeteria the main subject of our How Might We. And in our challenge, we decided to focus on a specific group of users who might find socializing in a new environment more stressful and daunting, the introverts. After several iterations, we came up with the final How Might We, and this is how it's called. How might we improve the cafeteria space to inspire introverted students to make new connections? By addressing the practical aspects of the cafeteria environment, we aim to enhance introverted students' daily experiences by making it more welcoming and also accommodating space for social interactions and personal comfort. We believe that our co-creative session, guided by this objective, will lead to actionable ideas that will drive positive transformations in the TUAS cafeteria. For our session, we've set up an environment that encourages teamwork, sparks creativity, and also helps solve problems practically. Our goal is to brainstorm ideas that can actually make a difference in the cafeteria. We've structured a session like a journey, starting by creating a friendly and open vibe, and then moving on to the brainstorming and refining ideas. This step-by-step approach makes it easy for everyone to feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and get creative. Our icebreaker is 2 truths and 1 lie. We chose this method as our starting point for a few compelling reasons, given our objective and desired outcome. It's firstly straightforward, enjoyable, and encourages active participation. The title basically tells you everything you need to know about it. So participants share their 3 school year facts, but there's a catch. One of them is a lie, and it's up to the others to guess which one. With this little game, we aim to create a moment for everyone to get to know each other and also get more comfortable with sharing their thoughts and interact with each other. We think that this positive atmosphere is vital because it will carry through the rest of our session and also sets the stage for open communication as we move into the ideation phase. To make the game a bit faster, we improved it by introducing numbered sticks. This made the whole process of voting much quicker because everyone got to vote and see the results at the same time. So this allowed us to dedicate more time and energy to generate ideas. In the sensitizing part of our session, we will explore the cafeteria together. Instead of just watching, we wanted everyone to get involved. We asked participants to walk around, take a good look, and then also write down what they think. This modification made the observation more interactive, so everyone felt more connected to the cafeteria, which is tailored exactly to enhance engagement and understanding in alignment with our session's objectives. This helped us in 2 ways. So first off, it helped us to understand how the cafeteria works and where things are. And secondly, it got everyone ready for the ideation part because they've seen things up close and now they could share their own ideas. This way, we were building on the connections we made during the icebreaker and are making our co-creative session more engaging and effective. After the icebreaker and cafeteria visit, brainwriting was a great method for coming up with ideas. It uses the friendly atmosphere from the icebreaker and the cafeteria visit to inspire lots of creative ideas, supporting our goal of 5 practical solutions. This method helps everyone to get creative quickly, which is exactly what we need. To make it work better for our goal of making the cafeteria a better place for introverted students to connect, we added a special touch. We focused on the 5 human senses to help people think about the ideas in different ways. This change made the idea of generating process much richer, and it still kept us moving fast. It ensured that the connections from the icebreaker and cafeteria visit will lead to many new and exciting ideas. And next up, the priority matrix acted as a converging method that followed the brainwriting. It served as a natural progression because after generating a multitude of ideas, it's essential to identify the most promising ones. This step ensured that we invested time and effort into the ideas that were both impactful and also feasible, which perfectly aligns with the desired outcome of generating actionable solutions that are easy and also quick to implement. The method itself doesn't need much change. However, we customized it by selecting specific criteria and how we assess and prioritize ideas together. This customization ensured that most important and doable ideas came up on top. Participants shared their ideas aloud, and as a group, we discussed where each idea fits in the matrix and why. This approach enabled us to take charge in choosing ideas that deserve further attention and ultimately helping us fill our outcome. Lastly, Lotus Blossom offered another chance for thinking creatively, taking the chosen ideas from the priority matrix and expanding upon them. This method encouraged participants to explore related concepts and possibilities, refining and enhancing the core ideas. It acted as a creative extension of the ideation phase, promoting innovation and deeper exploration. To make this method even better, we introduced a hands-on element, inviting participants to create physical lotus blossoms with their ideas. So instead of using plain sticky notes, we handmade all the flower petals and even sprayed them with some perfume and sparkles. This only didn't boost their idea generation, but also added a unique aspect to the process, sparking fresh creativity in our co-creative session. It completed the creative cycle by elaborating on the prioritized ideas, ensuring that we explored all possibilities before finalizing our actionable solutions.
To create a good flow for the co-creative session, we kept in mind the 4 elements, which are creating a safe environment, motivating and productive atmosphere, organization in relation to the session objectives, and managing communication. To create a safe environment for our participants, we were focusing on creating the welcoming and judgment-free space where everyone can feel welcome, share their ideas freely, and feel valued and heard. We started to build our safe environment far before the creative session by contacting our participants. So what we did, instead of creating the common group chat with the participants, we chose to send a private message to each participant with an individual invitation and short explanation of what the creative session is. We went for informal and welcoming tone of voice in the messages. With this personal message, we already showed that we value them as participants and we are happy that this specific person will join our meeting. Later, each participant got an individual reminder before the session. When participants started to show up to the session, we welcomed everyone and introduced ourselves to each of them to show that we see them as individuals.
I am Marian, this is Elvira.
And I'm Edben.
My name is Nikki. Grazie. Silvia.
Elijah, Alisa.
We also initiated a short talk with each of the participants by asking simple questions like, was it hard to find a room? Nice t-shirt, where did you get one? These talks helped to start a conversation not only between us and participants, but also between participants themselves and make them feel comfy with each other. We also provided everyone with the stickers with their names, which showed that we really care of who they are. And during the session, we referred to each participant by their names. In the introduction, we made it clear that there is no wrong or right ideas and every idea is appreciated, no matter how silly, obvious, or raw it is. We also reminded during the session that in this room, there is no judgment. Another thing we did to make our participants feel safe and heard was to give them the opportunity to share their thoughts and ideas and using active listening techniques, which includes full attention, providing feedback, keeping eye contact, etc. We were facilitators, but we didn't want to feel like ones, so to eliminate the role difference, we also took part in ice-breaking activity. It helped our participants to open up, but also made us all more connected and learn more about each other. To make the atmosphere even more safer and friendlier, we also prepared some delicious snacks to our participants and had a coffee break in the middle of the creative session. And we also planned a moment for our participants to share their thoughts about the session and provide us with the constructive feedback.
Wanted to ask you for feedback. How did you like the ideation session in general? Maybe you liked something.
By asking what they found nice in the session and what could we improve in the flow itself. To motivate and encourage our participants to generate ideas, we aim to put them in the right mindset before we introduce the design challenge. To achieve that, we customize activities for the sensitizing phase by making them related to the how might we question we came up with. For example, in our icebreaker, we played the game Two Truths, One Lie, where everyone would share facts related to their school experience so they could already start thinking about school and their personal experience with it. Next part of sensitizing was an exploration trip to Tua's cafeteria with a little observation assignment. Another opportunity for our participants to get to the right mindset because our How Might We was related specifically to Thua's cafeteria. To make participants focus on the current activity, we gave them clear instruction on what we are doing and how much time they have to complete the assignment. To make sure that our participants are on the same page, we asked if they understood everything and asked them to explain the assignment to us. To keep our participants motivated and to engage actively, we first became motivated ourselves to spread that energy into the group, and we became motivated by creating a design challenge that was inspiring and relatable for all three of us. During the session, we also reminded multiple times that ideas they are producing are valuable by default, no matter if they are smart or silly or out of the box or primitive, because we believe that creativity starts where there is no fear to be judged. To have a good organization of the session, we paid close attention to our session plan by defining what to do, how to do, who is doing what, and having all preps ready for each part of the session. We also timed every part of the session beforehand by leaving some time for unpredictable situations like participants being late or broken coffee machine on the floor. Spoiler! We had a well-organized and planned session mostly due to clear objective and outcome we defined for the session. Having clear objectives helped us to find and adjust the best methods that fit in and align with the goal of creative session. Firstly, we found the methods and described them in details in our shared Miro board. In the document, we defined how much time each part of creative session would take, which gave us a clear understanding and overview of time resource. We also defined a list of preps that are needed for each part of the session, so we have everything prepared. We also checked the room assigned for our creative session beforehand. That allowed us to plan the flow inside the space itself. Before the day of creative session, we already knew how we will arrange tables in the room, where we would set the camera, and how will we transit between one creative session to another. In addition, we timed the distance from the assigned room to the cafeteria, since exploring cafeteria was one of the activities planned in our session, so that we knew exactly how much time we would spend on getting there and back. Since there were the three of us, we divided the responsibilities so we all had a clear role during the session. For example, Edwin was responsible for video shooting and technical support for the session. Marian and myself were the hosts of the session, and while one was explaining the method and interacting with participants, another would take a role of timekeeper. That allowed us to stay organized, calm, confident, which of course had a big impact on the positive session atmosphere. To have a good communication in the session, we firstly made sure that we as facilitators were satisfied with our session plan and chosen methods, and that we were all on the same page in terms of objectives of each part of the session. Good communication and planning within our team made it possible to build a good communication with the participants. As we mentioned before, we first worked on the right mindset of our participants by nudging their thinking process toward the topic we needed for the design challenge. So when we introduced the design challenge, it was already easier for them to start ideating more actively. When we talked to our participants, we always made sure that all of them understood what we are doing and why we are doing it. For example, when we introduced the How Might We question, we discussed the meaning of introverted students, so we all were on the same page. And we also made sure that each part of creative session was clear for them by asking our participants to explain us how they understand what we are going to do next. This helped us to reduce misunderstandings and focus on the objectives of the session.
Looking back at our co-creative session, analyzing the outcome, we as a design team mutually agreed that we fulfilled our goals successfully. Our primary goal was to generate 5 actionable and detailed solutions to improve social connection in the THUAS cafeteria, focusing on the needs of introverted students. To dive deeper into this, we effectively communicated the challenge to all participants. We ensured everyone was on the same page by defining our target audience, the introvert, and also by getting acquainted with the space for our challenge, THUAS cafeteria. We believe our session success was linked to a few key factors. Firstly, we had a clear, well-formed goal and outcome. Secondly, our thought plan paid attention to details, including carefully chosen methods, method modification, time management, and testing. We also made sure to prepare the physical space, and we had a checklist for all preparations. Lastly, we set the right mindset by rehearsing the session flow, ensuring everything was ready, and confirming that technical aspects were functioning correctly. Plus, we played some uplifting music to set the mood. However, we realized that there is always some place for improvement, and here's what we could do better next time. So first thing is to reserve more time on unpredictable situations. Since we had a couple of them during the session, like participants running late or coffee break takes more time due to broken coffee machine. Luckily, we could run a little bit more over the time because our participants were nice people, but we realized that in real world scenario it wouldn't be possible due to tight work schedule. Therefore, next time we have to be more time concerned. Secondly, we noticed instances where our facilitators, Marianne and Elvira, seems to have different directions during the session. Occasionally, one took charge when it was the other's turn to lead. But fortunately, this didn't disturb the session, and we adapted well. However, this highlights the importance of self-reflection and room for improvement in facilitator. Finally, we realized how important is it to handle technical problems when they happen. During our sessions, we had trouble with our recording devices, but we managed to solve it. Still, we know that these issues might be even trickier in the future, so we want to create a better backup plan. This means keeping extra equipment ready to make sure our sessions go smoothly without any hiccups. Co-creative session outcomes shade the order of methods in our design team session. Here's how. At the end of the co-creative session, we had 5 different ideas. So in our design session, our first step was to narrow down these ideas by converging. After that, we took one of the chosen ideas and expanded on it, using a different diverging method. Our goal was to create a detailed concept presented as a storyboard by the end of the session. The chosen techniques boost our creativity by helping us in different ways. For example, the evaluation matrix helped us evaluate and rank ideas systematically. Mind mapping let us explore our chosen concept visually. Dot voting gets everyone involved and shows which ideas are most popular. These methods help us be more creative by giving us clear ways to work together and choose the best ideas. Now let's go more into detail. We kicked off our session with enjoyable warm-up activities to get our creative juices flowing. We decided to go with charades, which helped us prepare mentally and get into the right frame of mind. Our design team session began with the converging technique, the evaluation matrix. Its purpose was to identify which one of the 5 ideas we had collected aligned with specific criteria. We each assigned a maximum of 5 points to each category, providing a clear indication of which idea had the highest potential. We'll talk about this criteria shortly. Next, we use mind mapping to explore the selected main idea further. In this phase, we visually represented our chosen idea by creating a central concept and branching out with related elements. It allowed us to explore potential challenges, resources, and outcomes in a structured way, fostering a deeper understanding of our solution. Finally, we used dot voting to narrow down and prioritize ideas for our mind map. Each of us received a set of number of dots to assign the concept found most promising and or feasible. The method encouraged active involvement and helped identify the most favored ideas for further development. Let's dive into our definition of meaningful solution. In our context, it has several key aspects. First up, effectiveness in promoting social interaction. This means the solution actively encourages introverted students to interact and connect within the cafeteria. By addressing the challenge of loneliness and fostering a sense of belonging, it makes the cafeteria a more vibrant social hub. Secondly, comfort. Creating a comfortable cafeteria environment is crucial. When students feel at ease, more likely to spend time in the cafeteria, which in turn facilitates social interaction and helps them develop a sense of belonging. Thirdly, aligning with introverted preferences. Meaningful solutions are tailored to respect and cater to the unique needs of introverted students. By aligning with their preferences, the cafeteria becomes inviting and accommodating, ultimately increasing participation and fostering connections. Last but not least, feasibility and implementation. Lastly, it's essential to consider how feasible and implementable a solution is. Ideas that are easy to put into action ensure that improvements in the cafeteria happen swiftly and efficiently, delivering tangible benefits to students. In summary, a meaningful solution for our project should effectively address the challenge of introverted students feeling isolated in the cafeteria. It should prioritize their comfort, align with their preferences, and be feasible to implement. These criteria ensure that the selected solution not only tackles the problem at hand, but also creates an environment where introverted students can thrive socially and academically.
Introducing UniConnect, the user-friendly mobile app transforming how introverted students like Mia make new connections in the cafeteria. Let Mia share her remarkable journey with you.
Hi there, I'm Mia, and I recently started my journey at TUAS. I've always loved this place, but as an introvert, making friends hasn't been the easiest thing for me. But you know what changed the game for me? UniConnect. So here's the deal. You see those QR codes scattered around the university? Well, you scan one, and that's your entry ticket to a world of connections. Inside the UniConnect app, you will discover a wealth of information about the cafeteria tables designed for socializing. You can see where the tables are, how many spots are available, the duration of each meetup, and even tailor your profile to showcase your interests, major, and preferred conversation topics. It's like having your personalized invitation to the best social hangouts on campus. And here's where the magic happens. When you join a table, UniConnect breaks the ice for you. It provides conversation starters, questions that spark engaging discussions with fellow students. Don't like a question? No worries, just reshuffle and fresh one pops up. Once your social session wraps up, UniConnect invites you to leave feedback, ensuring that every experience is better than the last. The app continuously evolves to enhance your campus connections. What I love about UniConnect is how it effortlessly encourages social interaction. It's perfect for introverts like me. It's a stress-free environment, and it works like a charm. The app's simplicity is a game changer. I get to customize my profile, selecting tables that align with my interests and comfort level. It's like having a personal social concierge. And the best part? It's super feasible and costs almost nothing to the university to implement. Thanks to UniConnect, I've made lifelong friends, and my social life is a blast. The goal? Meaningful friendships, and I've just found that. So join me and countless others on this incredible journey. Let's make meaningful connections and unforgettable friendships, thanks to UniConnect.
UniConnect, inspiring connections one table at a time.